Andrew, besides yourself, any potential debutants this weekend?
Look, potentially. We, as you know, we've got main training coming up after this, so we'll see how we get through that 30 or 40 minutes of training and then pick a team after that.
I suppose the one we're sort of really curious about is Archer Reid, played as that third tall forward backup ruck in the pre-season game against North. Do you see that likely his role this weekend, and what's encouraged you to play him in that role this pre-season?
Yeah, look, as I said, potentially. I'm not going to be able to give you the team this morning, unfortunately, because we've got to get through training, but Archer's had a good pre-season. There is good competition for spots, which I've spoken about a little bit. He's shown some ability in that position, so we'll see how it goes.
And fitness-wise, is there anyone who's normally in the team but just they're a bit in doubt at the moment that you're still waiting on?
Well, Liam Ryan's a test, as we have publicly stated, so he's going to train today and see how he goes.
How's he been feeling?
He's good. Yeah, he's doing well.
Can you say much about Elijah? What can you tell us about him?
Yep, so Elijah's planning to train fully, so we'll hope he gets through that and then, again, pick a team afterwards.
How are you feeling? Not the first time, obviously, being head coach for an AFL game, but first time at this club. Nerves, confidence?
All of the above. A little bit of everything. More probably the overarching feeling I've got is excitement. I really can't wait for Sunday. It's a little bit strange. Some teams will play twice before we play our first game, but it feels like it's a long time coming. But yeah, overarching feeling is excitement.
Is it a bit of a full circle, the fact that it'll be Damien Hardwick that you're going head-to-head with for the first game?
Yeah, it's funny how it works. Hopefully it's one of many battles we have over the next few years, and I'll come up against some other coaches as well that I've worked with as well.
Do you block off all communication with him in the build-up to the game?
I haven't spoken to him. I checked in on a couple of the guys from the Suns last week that I'm friendly with about their homes and their safety and their families, but I haven't spoken to Dimmer.
How influential was he on your coaching part?
Yeah, well, I spent 10 years working directly on him, so I learned a lot from him and spent a lot of time working with him. So yeah, clearly really influential on me, but he's the enemy on the weekend.
Do you feel like just because you know so much about him that you might have a little advantage, or do you feel like that goes both ways because he knows so much about you?
Yeah, I think we probably know each other's icks and trends, the way we see the game and understand him, but we probably both think we've got a bit of an advantage in that space.
Sorry to go back on Elijah, but if he does play this weekend, is he one of those guys you've sort of got to manage, considering he hasn't played a lot of football in the last 18 months?
Yeah, you can't manage guys at AFL level. So essentially anyone we pick, we're picking them to perform. That's the way we've got to look at it. If there's players that are coming back from long-term injuries, we'll probably manage them via the waffle. But if they're picked in the AFL program, they'll be picked to perform.
Suns have got a pretty strong midfield. Has that taken up, I guess, a lot of the sort of study throughout the week? Yeah,
it's been a big part of our planning. They've been strong in that area for years now, and it's something we're really going to have to match them in the inside.
Can you cut a deal with Dimmer to just let Harley Reid and Matt Rowell go head-to-head all afternoon?
They're certainly two bulls, so they'll be exciting to watch go against each other. Historically, Dimmer hasn't tagged a lot, so we'll see where that lands, but it'll be a good battle.
What about for yourself, though? Do you plan on maybe trying to have someone, not tag, but maybe run with or be extra accountable for a Matt Rowell? He had a pretty good game here last time he was here.
Yeah, I think the challenge with teams like the Gold Coast is you go to Matt Rowell, Noah Anderson gets off the hook, or Touk Miller gets off the hook, or Bailey Humphrey might get off the hook. So it's a challenge. You can't cover everything, but like every coach we'll have plans for things as the game goes.
Do you come in, Andrew, with question marks, I guess, over your team, given that it's one pre-season, you're seeing them at AFL level for the first time, that you're looking forward to having answered about your guys? Yeah,
it's not so much with question marks, it's the unknown. Like we've planned and prepared, we're fit, we're healthy, but we haven't played against anyone else in an AFL proper match yet. So we've had some things we've had to work on over the last two practice matches, and we'll see some learnings come out from that, and we'll learn some more after this game as well.
How about the mood of the players? How have you seen that change, I guess, this week coming into a game?
It's been pretty balanced, to be fair. It's always an exciting week, first round of the season. Training today will have a lot of energy and joy to it, but it has been pretty balanced, which is good.
Are you glad that Gold Coast missed out on that opening round game, that it's, I guess, an equal playing field, or did you want to have a look at them?
Look, it's one of those ones where you could look at that from either side. Like if they played, we get to scout them, but they didn't play. It is what it is. we're just ready for them either way.
You had a run at Optus Stadium last weekend. How was that, and how did you get a bit of excitement being there and looking around and thinking, geez, this is going to be packed out next week?
Yeah, it's funny when you train at a stadium with no fans in there. It's certainly a different feel, but great to train there. The surface was terrific. Players enjoyed training there, so can't wait for Sunday.
Can you give us something about the Suns, what you're expecting from them? It looks like Andrew may not play as well. That's probably a bonus.
Yeah, so they've ruled him out. Look, the way the Gold Coast play, we've got a fairly clear understanding of it. They've got a profile that they're going to play fast, they're going to attack, they're going to be a territory team. They've got a few additions to their backline which will change a bit of their ball movement in Noble and Rioli. So clearly they targeted that area of the ground. So I think we've got an understanding of the way they play, but the game's going to be built around contest. That's what it always is, and that's where the Suns have their strengths.
And Bo Allen's, he's not being considered, is that right?
Yeah, Bo's not going to play this week in the AFL.
Yeah.
How disappointing is that for a young man like him, and has the group had to get around him a little bit more?
You know what, and I spoke to Bo about this, and it was really clear, like he was unwell for a few days and lost a significant amount of weight, and this game's hard, so for a debutant to come in a little bit underprepared, it just wasn't setting him up. So I was really strong on that. He'll have a long career ahead of him, but we want him to, when he begins his AFL career, to be in the best possible shape and come in ready to play.
Does he need a few weeks now to build back up and regain that weight?
Look, not necessarily. I think you can bounce back from these type of illnesses quite quickly. So we'll just monitor him as he goes.
And the Ruck situation, a lot of fans are curious to see which way you're going to go there. What can you tell us?
Yeah, we'll tell you when the team's coming out tonight. It's been a great battle all pre-season, no question about that. And we're fortunate we've got a competition for that spot. And we'll get through training today. Those guys will compete against each other again at training, and we'll pick a.
Jared Witt's had a couple of really good games though against West Coast. I think they were his best two games for the season last year. How much does him being that sort of ruckman, that bigger, more contested beast ruckman, weigh in on your decision for who you pick?
Yeah, it's part of the equation for sure. He's a very experienced ruckman, been doing it for a long time, big guy. So yeah, we've got to weigh all that up and pick who we think can compete and beat.
And with Harley Reid, he had an on-off kind of pre-season with a few injuries and concussion. Where's he at the moment, and does he need a bit of time to kind of build into the season, do you think?
Yeah, Harley's ready to perform. A lot of players go through different things in pre-season, and Harley has done that this pre-season. But as I mentioned before, when players are picked, they're picked to perform at AFL level. So yeah, Harley's ready to go.
And he'll probably be targeted a lot more this year, given what he did last year. How is he preparing for that, and how have you helped him in that sense?
Yep, we're ready for it if it comes, but also he's a big boy, he can look after himself, so we'll have some plans if it happens, but yeah, I'm sure Harley will be able to cope with that.
And without Yo in the early rounds, how tough is that to fill, and how do you look to fill that gap?
Yeah, well, he's a best and fairest winner and All-Australian. Very hard to replace someone like Elliot Yo, but the beauty of our game is we're always going to have injuries, and there's always someone else ready to go and get an opportunity, so we can't wait for Yo to be back, but we'll pick the team that will be ready to roll out and compete for us on the weekend.
Andrew, you spoke about your emotions heading into Sunday, first time coach at this club. You've got some players who are in the same boat playing their first games. Do you pull them aside ahead of Sunday? What do you say to them? How do you manage their emotions heading into Sunday?
Yeah, I think like round one, whether it's your first game or first game for the club again, or first game just for the year, everyone has heightened emotions. That's normal. I think it's going to be a great atmosphere. We'll have a big crowd there, hopefully, and it will be an occasion we want to celebrate. So nerves are part of our game. Every player goes through it. That's something we'll just embrace.
Liam Baker's one of those. You've got a good relationship with him from Richmond. Is he one of the ones that needs to get through training today to put his hand up for selection? Is he under an injury cloud at all?
No, Bakes all good. He's ready to train today. So again, we'll just pick the team tonight and see how we go.
Tyler Botman was a player who had a indifferent sort of year on and off the field last year in his first year. It looks like he's incredibly fit at the moment. Can you just tell us about his pre-season?
Yeah, I think it's a great pickup. Yeah, Tyler's had a terrific pre-season. He's completed, I think, almost every session. He's fit. He turned up fit, which I think, I can't speak to what happened last year with Tyler, but my impression is that he's been really impressive. So he's played well in all of our practice matches. He's really consolidated one of those small forward spots, and we can't wait for his year.
That presumption that you're going to enjoy those mosquito fleet is around. How handy is that to have a guy like him turn up in that shape with all the other ones you've got around that area in the forward line.
Yeah, is that presumption because I'm small? No?
Richmond days.
Oh, okay, yeah. Look, it's a critical spot, and you look around the league at the moment, that position, it's actually becoming really important for lots of teams and the way the game's being played. So Brocky and the other forwards will need to provide that pressure, but he's also got some real class when he gets the ball in his hand and helps us score, so we look forward to that.
Andrew, you mentioned some teams have played twice before. You guys play on Sunday. What are your thoughts on opening round? Do you agree with what seems like the majority of coaches in that it's probably had its run down?
Honestly, the way I sort of view these things is AFL makes the rules, we just follow them. So I'm happy for whatever it is, we'll be ready to go on Sunday. It is what it is.
And if Liam doesn't play Tyrell, does that make it more of a chance that he might make his debut?
Look, I think Tyrell's played in the past, but it's not his debut. But he's certainly put himself right in the mix. He's had a really terrific pre-season. He's a high talent player, young player, still got some work to do, but he's given himself a chance.
What sort of goals have you set for the team this season?
Yeah, like I've been asked this question a lot. We're sort of not setting goals. There's no win-loss goal that we're setting. Clearly, we are in a position we just need to improve. So we're working on a new game plan, new personnel, and we're just going to be looking for improvement.
And in terms of your coaching evolution, I guess you come in saying you wanted that fast and kind of hectic style that was at Richmond. Is that still the case, and is that what fans can expect this year?
Yeah, I think, like that's all part of it, but we need to be well-rounded. It's not just going to be chaotic fast the whole time. I think that any good team in the competition has to have multiple ways to play, and we'll try and build that out as well as we can.